Well, hello guys and welcome back. Now, I've been missing on a lot of stuff. I've been missing on so many episodes of The Blacklist. I'm yet to do a review for The Man in the High Castle Season 4, but I just got a new addition to my family. I just got this beautiful baby that me and my wife just adopted, and she is amazing. But yeah, life does cut through at times, and now I'm back. I'm gonna be talking The Man in the High Castle at some point. I'm gonna be talking Runaways pretty soon, and on this video and a couple of other videos, I will be talking The Expanse Season 4. Now, what I plan on doing over here is I'm going to be posting multiple videos for the new season. I'm going to be talking 2 to 4 episodes in each of these videos, with the final video including an overall opinion on the entire season. Unlike the previous seasons, we're getting this season in one go. I mean, it's no longer on Sci-Fi, it's on Amazon, so we got all 10 episodes on the same night. However, though, I'm not going for your usual binge watch. I mean, I'm binge watching them, but I'm only going to be reviewing episodes that I've watched thus far, sort of in real time, so I don't really know in advance what happens on the following episodes as I create this video. But there is also another thing that is unlike previous seasons as well. I mean, Season 1 talked Leviathan Wakes, but not the entire book. The second season is the one that ended the story of the first novel in the series and started the story of Caliban's War. Halfway through the third season, the story of Caliban's War wrapped up, and we started the story of Abaddon's Gate, and the story of Abaddon's Gate pretty much wrapped up by the end of the third season. So the nature of the fourth season is completely different. It's all about one novel in the series. It's not getting something out of a novel that was not really wrapped up on a previous season. It's just starting with Cibola Burn and ending with the end of Cibola Burn. And that just means that our expectation of the upcoming season is all about Nemesis games. The sixth season is probably gonna be all about Babylon's Ashes, and so on and so forth. But digging further though into the new season, the premiere of the season starts with the new settlers, the colonists. They're all rushing in. It's all random, it's all haphazard, and it's all in a very uncontrolled fashion. Everyone just wants a piece of this new cake, new Terra, and everyone is just going for it, randomly. And that is exactly the very same vibe that we get on the very first pages of the fourth novel in the series. Moving on though, and it's been a long while, so do correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember reading anything about James Holden's mother on the pages of Cibola Burn, so it is possible her edition on the premiere of the season was all about the dramatic effect. And of course, seeing Miller that early in the season with James Holden makes you think, okay, so how are they gonna work him out in that alien body/suit on this season? Yeah, we're all looking for a lot of stuff to be depicted on this season. Still on the premiere, though, we've got Clarissa Mao. She is incarcerated. That's by the book, by the way. She's gonna play a role later on, but for the time being, she is incarcerated. The next thing, though, is we do meet Nancy Gao. This is the first time we've seen her on the pages of the novels. We do meet her for the first time on Abaddon's Gate. The major difference over here is that Nancy Gao is supposed to be the UN Secretary General, as opposed to Avasarala having the job. Now, while Avasarala over here does have the job, on the series and whatnot, she does not get the job on the pages of the novels until Nancy Gao disappears and is presumed dead. So yeah, that's the first major deviation on the series from the novels. Another deviation, pretty minor though, is the fact that the mission given to Holden by Avasarala on the premiere of the season was originally given to him by none other than Fred Johnson on the pages of the novel. But the mission was also a little bit different there. It was about resolving conflict on the surface on New Terra rather than actually trying to get the Belters out because, New Terra is dangerous. And thus, what he was watching at the beginning of the season was the work of the proto-molecule.
That looks like the work of the proto-molecule.
It doesn't appear to be active.
For a few hundred years, we thought Phoebe was just a ball of ice orbiting Saturn.
But another major deviation is that Ashford's role on the pages of the novels does end with Abaddon's Gate, at least as far as I've read. But looking into this season, we've got Ashford back. The ending for Ashford at the end of Season 3 was kind of different as well, so it was definitely expected that he'd be back for Season 4 as well. Now, I don't think I need to remind you that Carmina drummer never appeared on the pages of the novels until Nemesis games, but on the series though, she's had a presence since long ago. One important thing to think about over here is that her spinal fracture that we do get reminded of on the premiere of the season is basically akin to the spinal fracture that Bull does get on the pages of the novels, and specifically on the pages of Abaddon's Gate, just like Drummer over here did get them during the events of Abaddon's Gate on the series, during the events of Season 3, the second half of Season 3. However, though, on the pages of the novels, Bull never makes it beyond the events of Abaddon's Gate, dying during the events of said novel, so pretty much Drummer over here is an all-new character for this season, becoming a filler for so many characters until she probably ends up fulfilling her very own destiny on a later season of the series. Now, before I continue over here, a general opinion is the first episode of the season, the premiere, is pretty much introductory to what comes down later on in the events of the season. It does a pretty good job out of it, as opposed to a lot of people who did think this book was a filler. I do like the book, but I do like how the series is doing it a lot more. So still, on the premiere, we do get introduced to a couple of characters that we've never met before. We do get introduced in one scene to both the character of Murtry, who in the novels is the head of security of the Edward Israel. We get introduced to the Edward Israel itself, and we also get introduced to the character of Alvia Koye, whom I've only seen on the pages of the Cibola Burton novel. Let's remember over here that I haven't read all the novels. I'm still behind 2 novels, so she might have appeared on those novels as well, because by the end of the events of Cibola Burton, she is still alive. But yeah, though, I did mention that before, this is one character that I loved on the pages of the novel, and I'm really hoping they do repurpose her in the same manner that they keep doing with Drummer since the earlier seasons of the series. She is on the pages of the novel what she is, or seems to be at least, on the series. You know, part of the exploration team on board of the Edward Israel. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. Her arc is gonna be fun. Murtry though, and on the other hand, he does put out that ass vibe right off the bat. You know, the way he talks, the way he conducts himself, so he's gonna be that ass. We're gonna see that on the rest of the season. The attack that took out the lives of members of their team on the premiere of the season is pretty reminiscent of a similar attack that did happen on the pages of the novel, so that's pretty much exactly by the book. Now, right after the attack, we get introduced to Miss Mazur over here. Now, Miss Mazur over here is probably a fill-in for Miss Martin, Lucia Martin on the pages of the novel. Now, Lucia Martin was mother to none other than Katua. We've already met Katua. But over here, I don't think they're gonna take that route. They're not gonna work with that character, or at the very least, I expect later on in the events of the season, we're gonna realize she's not really who she claims she is. Now, as I did mention before, I'm doing these reviews in real time. Like, right after I watch the episode, I record the review for that episode, even if on a video that will include reviews for other episodes. So what I'm thinking over here with that character is, the arc for Lucia Martin from the pages of the novel is gonna remain intact. The core arc, that is. However, though, everything relating to the fact that she is supposed to be on the pages of the novel mother to none other than Katua is going to be weaved out of the events of the season. Now, I suppose the statement on the news that we watched the crew of the Rocinante watch about the mission commander being dead is all about doing away with the character of Marwick out of the novels. That way it's just Murtry, that way it's simple, and that way they focus on what's important. Because after all, they've only got 10 episodes to wrap it all up. But before I move on though to the second episode, which I will also cover on this video, there are 5 or 6 takes on the premiere of the season. Number 1, a good introductory episode building up powerfully towards what is to come over the course of the rest of the season. Number 2, with this being on Amazon Prime, Avasarala just got a lot more cussing room, which I gotta say, I just love.
Makes sense. Ilus was a brother of Ganymede.
Who gives a fuck? I didn't bring you here to teach me mythology. The planet is practically made of lithium.
Number 3, it was epic watching the Rossi on the move. And number 4, watching the Rossi team land on New Terra. That was pretty solid. Yet another moment promising a lot of things to come over the course of the season. Number 5, this is what it looks like. This is what happens when you've got the novels to back you up. You can only make it better. This is as opposed to what a series like, for example, Game of Thrones did, rushing it all to a crappy final season and before the book's release. Finally though, number 6, and this is less of a take and more of a thing that I forgot to mention talking about the premiere of the season, the Medina Station. Now that is pretty much the behemoth repurposed just like it was on the pages of Cibola, and in the very same way, a station in the slow zone. But moving on to the second episode of the season, here are my key takeaways. Number 1, Lucia is definitely not a Burton. They have repurposed the character into someone who did not really lose the son Katua on Ganymede, but rather someone who lost a lot of family over there. They gave her the daughter her counterpart had in the novels, Felsia. They clearly did away with Katua and his father and gave her a different husband as well, Jacob. Number 2, Murtry will definitely make enemies with Amos, just like he did on the pages of the novel, and when Amos hates, viewers do have a lot of fun. Now that's supported by what we did watch on the trailer. That's also supported by the fact that Amos does witness him making his first asshole move on the surface of New Terra, the big asshole move, killing that belter, and also the fact that Amos does refer to him before that as not my friend. Number 3, everything about the scenes are beautiful, everything about the depictions are beautiful, and I do love that because it is always brilliant when you watch something that you read about come to life in this amazing fashion. At number 4 though, Bobbie Draper accepting the dinner invitation from Avasarala while she's being interrogated, like she's sending the message, "I've got people in high places, so beware." That was pretty solid and a bit of a laugh out loud moment. Number 5, I think one of my favorite things about this season so far, besides all the cussing room for Avasarala, is the new Holden the psychic.
I have no idea. It just feels dead.
Number 6, I might have forgotten mentioning this at the end of the first episode of this season, but they did change the actor portraying the role of Arjun Avasarala. Honestly though, I do prefer Brian George in this role. Number 7 though, Avasarala's visit to Mars on this episode, the whole ordeal. I think that is about what she aimed at on the pages of the novel, avoiding mass migrations from Mars and ensuring the balance of the inner planets does remain intact. Number 8, whatever's going down with Naomi, I do think it will lead to them heading back into orbit, her and Alex, because at the very least, and so far, her reaction to the gravity is just like her reaction to the gravity on the pages of the book. Now the only difference here is she did not really get this far, so all of it might actually change. And on another note, Alex seems to be leaving her behind Rossi bound, so that could be the alternative here. Number 9, we get to hear of Marco Inaros for the first time. Inaros is the man who used to be a love interest for Naomi. He's also the father of her son Philippe. They did have a fallout, and a major one at that, but he's also one character I want to watch play out this season. We'll definitely be talking about him as we go, but for now, I'm quite excited about his appearance. But 9 down though, and 2 to go, so number 10, the entire situation with Lily and David Draper. That's right out of the books. I'm still looking forward to finding out if they will play it the way it played in the novels. I'm still on episode 2, or if they will play around with it, kind of change the story here, but pretty excited for that one as well. It's an arc that's got Bobbie Draper written all over it, and I love me some Bobbie Draper. But that also brings us to Proto Miller and number 11, the investigator story. Now that one is right on track. The mission is to figure out who killed the builders, aka his creators, and there is no variation there. In fact, my favorite part of this season so far is all about the interactions between Miller on one hand and Holden on the other hand.
I'm good!
Back on series.
Fuck!
Get this water theft. It's always a big problem. I must have traced 100 pipes down into the bowels of that station.
No cop stories.
Hey, it's got a moral.
I don't give a shit.
But for the first video on the season, I think 2 episodes are more than enough, so you can let me know in the comments down below what you thought of those 2 episodes. If you finished the season, please keep the comments spoiler free from anything beyond episodes 1 and 2. Make sure to let me know as well if you did like this video by dropping it one of those much appreciated likes, subscribing to this channel, and make sure while you're at it to enable notifications in order to get updates whenever I upload a new video, publish a new community post, or start a new live stream. But until the next time that you tune in for another one of my videos, The Expanse or otherwise, thank you so much for tuning into this video, and have a great day.